I'm just getting set up here, guys. I want to be able to read the questions, so I am on my computer too. Okay. Hey, Diane. I'm going to be going back and forth. Hey, Jennifer. Hey, guys. LL Nut. I don't know your real name, and I always like to address people by their first name, and I respect the fact that you don't want to give it to me. That's fine, but um, I wanted to do a live Q&A. It's Sunday evening. I'm waiting for When Calls the Heart to come on, so I thought, why not kill some time? Um, Lori, okay, well, yay. Okay, guys, so this is a live Q&A, and that just means that you can ask me anything you want. You're going to see me going back and forth because I have you on the screen here. And hey, Virginia, and I want to answer your questions, so we'll just chat, and if somebody has a question, I'll answer, and you can ask me anything about life, the garden, the house, my plans, what I have going on coming up. I do have a couple of projects. I think we're going to start working on one this weekend, and I'm very excited about it. Hey, Krista. Hey, Lucia. I'm very excited about this project. I am very, very excited about this project. Yes, we are extremely happy, Lori, that we chose Tennessee. I tell people all the time, thank you, Jennifer. I tell people all the time that I don't feel like I moved at all. It is the weirdest thing. I settled into Tennessee so seamlessly that well, first of all, the location that we chose where we're at is close to everything. So, hey, Sally. Um, yeah, new project. It's going to be fun. So I don't have to like get on the freeway to go anywhere. So we're not near all like the hustle and bustle. We're away from it, but I'm not far from it. So I can go shopping and I can do all the things, and I feel very safe and secure, and I know my way around, which is awesome. Ernie once told me years ago when we moved from San Diego to it's wine country in California. It's like Temecula, Murrieta area. And so it's north of San Diego, about an hour. When we moved there, it was very foreign to me, being born and raised in San Diego. And he told me to go get lost and to find a double yellow line to find my way back to a main street. So that is something that I've always held on to. And so whenever we move, I do that. I go get lost. So, anyways, yes, we are very happy with our choice. Love it, love it, love it. Getting used to the weather is something different. Those thunderstorms in the afternoon just pop up out of the blue, and it's, takes a little getting used to for that. But it's the humidity is bad, but it's not. I don't hate it, and I welcome the afternoon thunderstorms because as soon as that happens, it cools everything down and the humidity goes away. So, yeah, to answer your question, we love it. But yes, we have some new projects coming up. It's taken a while to get to them. Ernie has, just a weekend, to do it, to do the projects. And I'm sorry, people pulling into my driveway. They're just making a U-turn. So we picked up some tools that he needed for it, and he said he really wants to start tackling. So it's going to be fun. I've got so many projects, you guys, coming up. But I needed him to get these tools to do them. So, and I need him to help, I'm not, I won't, I don't like power tools. I don't. I mean, I'll use some to like a very, I know my boundaries and my limits, and I would like to keep all 10 fingers. So, um, yeah, I won't tackle projects, and the measuring tape is foreign to me. I can count inches, but when all the little lines and a half in, an inch and a half, 2.5 inches, I can do. But when it gets to all those little intricate lines, I'm clueless. So, anyways, I need his help with the projects. But I'm really uh, settling into the home. And I'm going to do a fun project in well, the kitchen needs a revamp, the kitchen cabinets. Let's see, hold on really quick. Let me answer these questions. Yes, my coleus are doing great. Hey, Valerie, I just went out and watered a few hours ago, and they get a little wilty in the sun, just a little bit, which is normal. And then they just perk right back up again. So yes, they are doing fabulous. I hope to give you guys a tour, when they get a little bit more meat on them, I'll do that. I have some gardening things that I need to do. We're going to be doing 2 new gardens out in the front of the property, but I think I'm going to wait until fall when it cools down. I may have said this to you guys already, unless we get some cool weather, you know, between now and when it's supposed to cool down, then I'll go out there because it's going to require some digging, right? Got to get rid of some grass up there, but I'm super excited about those projects, or those 2 gardens, really excited. I'm trying to figure out how to marry, because it's going to be at the end of the driveway, and I'm trying to figure out how to marry that garden or those 2 gardens with the front garden. And it'll all come to me, right, when we do it, and then when we go to the nursery or what have you. It may just be mums this year. I don't know. We'll see. We shall see how that comes along. But I'm really settling into the house. I'm really, the kitchen, I was starting to say, those kitchen cabinets, let me tell you. I think that's one area of the house that really, I thought I did a great job really deciding where I wanted everything. But turns out I have some cabinets that are just underused. They're not being utilized properly. And mainly because I have items in those cabinets that I don't use. And so I need to get in those kitchen cabinets and revamp them. And so what I'm thinking, because I'm here in my office, and then there's a pass-through, which is my pantry and my coffee bar, and then you enter the kitchen. And my thought process with that now is, why don't I treat that more like a butler's pantry, kind of, if you will, because, you get the 2 pantry doors that open, and make it more utilitarian. So that is exactly where, I don't know, I just don't have it set up very well. Like I don't know, I don't have it set up very well. So I'm thinking about turning that into a butler's pantry. So I kind of want that to stand out on its own. So I came across a couple days ago a idea for the walls that's not wallpaper, that anybody can do. And I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to do it. It's very simple, and it's a paint project. It's very simple, but it will definitely make that area. I want it to be, the problem is I can't choose words for how I want things to be. And so, but anyways, I'm thinking that, and I've always tried to set it up really pretty because, and it'll still be pretty, but it's got to be utilitarian, right? Because it is part of a working house. So I have a refrigerator a couple years old, and the ice maker broke. It leaks. It works, but it leaks water constantly from the thing. And we think that something between putting it in storage and shipping it here to Tennessee from California, something happened. But I'm not willing to pay the kind of money they want to repair an ice machine and a refrigerator. So I bought a countertop ice machine. And what I've been doing is I make the ice, and I've been filling Ziploc bags or the freezer bags. Well, I have two. I keep those full in the freezer, and then, whatever's on the counter. So I have that on the counter, and I hate looking at it. And I thought, that's probably something I should have here, and not in the kitchen. I don't know. Those are just things that go through my head. But there's that's coming up. And then my entryway, I had some ideas for the entryway, and that is what I think Ernie's going to start working on. And I thought it could be part of my fall decor, like fall series, because it's going to be take on quite a transformation. Here in the office, we had, let's see, sorry guys. Hi, Valerie. Did I say hi? I'm sorry. Hey, Jennifer. Yes. It's going to be really good. I think it's going to be really good. But I lost my train of thought here. My office. We had a guy come out and give us a pretty decent quote to do this wall back here. And I think Ernie and I can do it ourselves now that he has the tools needed. So I think that's what we're going to tackle, because this piece back here is going to go in the men's lounge upstairs under the TV. So I don't want you to walk into my house and look to the left and see a computer. That's not what I want. I'd like to see a beautiful desk here, that I can use for like writing and what have you. But back here, I'd like to have the computer. So when I'm doing computer work, it's back here. And I did just get a new computer. Ernie had to get me a new computer because my other one was just done. I called Apple. They helped me fix it, temporary fix. And she literally told me that my computer was vintage. That was the exact word she used. I bought it in 2017 and it was considered vintage, but it was beautiful, still in great shape. I hate when that happens. So now I've got this big hunking, because I got the little mini Mac, and then a compute, like a TV screen, I guess, or a monitor. So it's really big, which is nice. It's nice for me to do all my computer work on it and everything, but I want the office to look better, if that makes any sense. So that's going to be something we're going to tackle. We did it, and 2 houses ago, Ernie built me a beautiful wall of bookshelves out of billy cabinets, and he trimmed it out and added lighting, and everybody that came over would ask, how much do we spend on that? And we had gotten a quote. They wanted $5,000 to do that wall. And so I talked Ernie into the billy cabinet idea. Gosh, this was 2018, I think, when we did this. And maybe sooner than that even. It might have been even before, like maybe 2016. And he did a whole wall. He trimmed it out with crown molding. It was gorgeous, and people would come over, and they would ask how much, and I said, well, we got a quote for, $5,000, but we did it for, I don't know, it was about $600 by the time we bought all the lighting and everything. So Ernie did a great job. He took the backs off and he added beadboard to the back, so it looked really custom. And so I said, babe, you can do that in my office. So, we can buy a butcher block counter for here. And yeah, so I think we're going to tackle that. My whole office, I just want it to be prettier. It's kind of the catch-all of the furniture. My bedroom, I'd like to get some moldings and some detail work done in there. One of the things that I fell in love with here in Tennessee when we came to look were the old Southern homes and all of the detail that they offered. I really wanted an older home. Ernie was not so much on board with that, and the reason why is because he, didn't want to deal with roofing issues and air conditioning and heating and just all of the things. And so we looked at several older homes. Brick homes is what I thought I wanted because inside they have so many details, with moldings and just beautiful. And anyways, we got the new house and he promised that he was going to give me those details. So that he will do. So he may be watching. If you're watching, Ernie, I'm counting on you. But so we have that project coming up with the house. Of course, the bar upstairs in the man's lounge. We are going to be tackling that. The powder room, and my bathroom. I still have to do my bathroom. I've been running across things for that bathroom for months and I never buy it because I'm not there yet. So hopefully I will find the items that I want to decorate that bathroom. But my bedroom, I still want some detail work in there. That blue chairs don't work for me anymore. That was one of my impulse buys, which I love them for the office though. Don't get me wrong. They're not going to waste. I love them. I do have one here in the office. What I want for that corner truly, and the blue chair it's holding place for me, is if I run across everything is so expensive. Even when I go on Facebook Marketplace, people are asking ridiculous prices for things. But I'm hoping to run across a beautiful, comfortable bedroom chair, like a big, comfortable, white, cozy. I don't know, it doesn't even have to be white. It could have a pattern in it, but just something like a bedroom chair, So I've been looking for something like that, and I'm hoping that I find something decent priced. So I'm not in a hurry. It's on my radar. If I run across it and the timing's good and I have the money at the moment, then I'll pull the trigger. But hey, Jen, thanks for coming, girl. Jen is, I don't know if you guys ever have seen Good Home. Jen, is it the Good Home or just Good Home? I always say Good Home with the E, good with the E. She has a channel on YouTube. Go check her channel out. She's awesome. Anyways, so I am on, the hunt for that right now. So there's that. And, just little things here and there. I'm starting to get really creative. I'm excited about the entryway because, we have that black door and it's black, just Good Home. Okay. It's a black door on the inside and out, and we do want to eventually change that door with a wood door. But for now, I hate looking at the end of the hallway and seeing a black door. So I'm going to take care of that when we do the entryway. And, when I go to decorate that entryway, I'm going to take care of that. There's so much, you're just never finished, I don't think, with the home unless you are fortunate enough to hire an interior designer and you have endless amounts of money. I don't believe your home will ever be done because you can always elevate a space. You might be in love with something today and then tomorrow, not. I don't know. Or next year, it doesn't work anymore and you want to add to it, So I don't really feel like you're ever done with the home. In my experience, we've had several homes and I don't feel like we've ever, and I think when we've gotten to the point where we've finished a home, we sell it and we move on. So that might be the case with this house. I never said it was going to be my forever ever home. Okay, Tennessee's my forever ever state, but we'll see what happens with this house. I start to get the itch about 2 years in, and I'm almost a year in. But I love this house. I love this house. I love my neighbors. I love the location. I don't really ever see myself leaving, ever. I just love it here so much. It's just so warm in this house and it just brings me so much joy, and I'm so happy when I wake up in the morning, and I feel so blessed when I go to bed at night, you know, and I'm turning off all my lights. I'm walking around, I'm like, God, I love this house, you know, and you should feel that way about your house. Hey, Kathy. Yay, yes, you caught me live. Super excited for that. I tried to warn, but I don't always plan my lives, so I'll usually, today I give you guys a 30 minute notice. Thank you, Jen. It's coming along. You know, I know that every single one of you guys can relate to this and will be able to relate. I'm gonna take my hearing aids out because they're bothering me. Now I'm completely deaf and I can't hear myself. Okay, my hearing is that bad. So, I think everybody here will be able to relate to this. You probably have people that come in your home, you know, friends, neighbors, family, and they come in your home and they walk into a room and they say stuff like, "Ah, I just love your house," or "Ah, I just love, you know, this room," or "It's so cozy in here," or, you know, they say things like that. And in your mind, you're immediately, you know, or at least for me, and you guys have to let me know if I'm alone. I hope I'm not. I immediately want to follow that up with this, "Oh, I'm not even close to being done," you know? And if that is not telling, I don't know what is. Because other people, and I don't decorate for other people, I don't. I mean, I'm going to be completely transparent and tell you that there was a point in my YouTube journey where I absolutely 100% did for the audience. And that's mainly because I wasn't confident in what I was doing or what I was capable of doing. And so I was doing what everybody else was doing, thinking that's how I needed to grow, if that makes any sense. And Ernie is he's such my rock. He is such a rock. Am I saying that right? He is my rock. He is such an inspiration to me because he's truly my best friend and offers me the most sound advice when, you know, when I'm feeling discouraged or when I'm feeling, you know, doubtful of myself and my ability and, you know, and everything. He will always say to me, you know, he would always say to me, and, you know, he would say, you're doing this for fun. I want you to continue to have fun. I don't want you to put pressure on yourself. Just enjoy it. Enjoy it. And I think that that's super important. Thank you, Rosa. I really am blessed. We've been together since I was 16, he was 17, and he likes to say he raised me. But he really has been a sound voice for me our entire relationship. I mean, we grew up together and he's the yin to my yang for sure, you know. But there was a point in my YouTube journey where I was going with the flow and doing what everybody else was doing. And, you know, you guys all watch YouTube channels. I'm moving away from the cleaning part of the YouTube channel because I thought that's what I wanted to do. But I don't really feel like that's who I am. I mean, I clean my house. I'm on an excellent routine, by the way. I think I said I was going to share that and I never did with you guys, but I got myself on a killer routine where my house is spotless all the time because I wanted to spend so much time out in my gardens. And I knew that I needed to do that because if I didn't have a clean home, I wasn't going to enjoy myself outside. And that's just me personally. So, I'm out of I mean, you might see me wipe something down or dust something, but I'm not going to be doing scrubbing the toilets and all of those things. Oh, Geraldine, thank you so much. That is such a sweet compliment. So I got on that pattern and, you know, Ernie was really speaking to me and telling me to follow my gut and, you know, do what I love to do. And I've always loved Okay, I can put that together. Absolutely, Jen. I can totally put it together. It's so easy. It's a Monday through Saturday, Monday through Friday routine, really. I mean, it really is. It gets easier and easier as the weeks go on, but absolutely can put something together. Also, the video did well. I'm over 2,000 views, my last video, which is wonderful, but I don't think that a lot of people were ready for that kind of editing from me. But I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. I've been reading a lot of blogs, and because I've really been trying to find myself. Thank you so much, Kay. I've really been trying to find me again and what I enjoy doing, and I talked a lot about that in that video. And so I've been reading a lot of blogs, and so thank you so much, Sherry. And so as I was reading things, when things would stand out, I would type it up in my notes on my computer. And so when I went to go edit the video, I just read from that, and they were all my notes. And I didn't want it to sound like I was reading, but no matter how hard I tried, you could tell I was reading. But but it is what it is. Those truly were points that resonated with me, and I wanted to get that across to you. Thank you, Lori. I really appreciate that. So it was so important to me to get that message out to you guys. I wanted you guys to really just because I think social media, Instagram, YouTube, there's YouTubers, and God bless them, if they're doing great and they can do what they can do, how wonderful. Thank you, Guadalupe, or can I call you Lupe? You like Lupe or Guadalupe? they, they can do so much with money. I don't have bottomless amounts of money, no matter what I don't know what people think, if people think that there's a lot of YouTubers that just go out and spend so much money, which is why you're going to like Jen's channel, The Good Home, or Good Home, because she thrifts a lot. So that's very inspirational to me to see somebody that thrifts. I like new, and I'm sure she does too. She does get new items as well. The pairing of new and old is a wonderful thing. I think that they play off each other well, and and I think it's lovely. I think that if you're totally opposed to new, or vice versa, you're totally opposed to old, you're cheating yourself, because you can find beautiful things in both, in both aspects. So but there are YouTubers out there who go out and spend, I think I touched on this before, a lot of money to put a video together, and I can't do that. I won't do that. I don't think that the majority of the population, the YouTube population, viewers, can relate to that. I just don't think it's very relatable. I immediately will turn off a channel if they start pulling out thousands of dollars of decor. Yes, absolutely. Jen, I'll change channel, and I'll change it immediately, because I can't relate to that. I'm not going to watch. I want to watch you decorate, but I'd like you to be more realistic with, using things from around your home, or, redoing a piece of furniture. Somebody said something really nasty about my cabinet makeover, and thank you, Rosa. Yay. I hope that you do. I hope that you do. But somebody said something, I deleted the comment and blocked the person. I will block anybody that comes to my channel in negative. I just want good vibes only. But said something nasty, like, I don't know, something was mean about, painted furniture. And hey, girl, it's so good to see you. Lisa, yay. Said something really nasty about the painted furniture. And I thought, that's just cruel. You don't say mean things about, why say anything at all? Why say anything at all? If if you don't like what I did to my cabinet, and by the way, if you see that cabinet in person, you won't even know that I refinished it. You would think I bought it that way. Um, Thank you, Jennifer. It literally, I really did a good job on it. I did exactly what I was supposed to do in between coats. That primer is amazing, by the way. I should have mentioned in there that that primer smells like Elmer's glue, Elmer's glue, the school glue, but it really does a fabulous job. So anyhow, I could have elevated it even further by doing like a lacquer, like a really high sheen on that cabinet. The only reason why I didn't is because, yay, Jen, I'm so happy you did. I cannot wait to see it. I hope you filmed it. It's a pallet, a recycled pallet. So it is a recycled piece of furniture made from pallets, as is my coffee table. And so the nail holes where they pull the nails are showing in some of the spots. And you may have seen that when I did the close-up at the end. And so I thought, if I do a really high sheen, it's really going to draw attention to those. And I don't really want those to stand out. But if anybody mentions it, now my buffet has a story behind it. And I think that that's just wonderful, Even my mirror and my end table, or my entry table and my entry, I bought that brand new and spent way too much money at Kirkland because it wasn't on sale. And even that has a story, because the end table was on one end of the store and the mirror was on the other end of the store. And this is what I do when I go in stores shopping. I had to see the mirror next to the table, and I put it there, and then I ran around the store and I decorated the console and I did the whole thing. And the lady was laughing at me because she was like, wow, do you want a job? I was like, nope. But I was having fun, and that's how I decorated. And so I had to have it. I was like, okay, yeah, boom. Plus I have once the door is open, it's a very narrow area to put a table. And so that table was like perfect size. So yes, Geraldine, it turned out so good. I wish the camera picked that up. If you were to see it, and Ernie came home and he's like, wow. He said, that looks like we purchased it. And I said, yes. So thank you, Valerie. So I'm really happy with that. And I think that's the lovely thing about taking pieces of furniture in your home and redoing it when it's tired. And the only reason why I did those two pieces is because they were very tired and very worn. And, they had some damage. Somebody else said something. I don't think I deleted that comment, but she was like, you could have just sanded out the damage or something like that. It's like, hey, it's my cabinet. I didn't want to, I wanted to turn it into that. And I love the contrast. It just looks so good in there, and so it's got a story. My table has a story, and I love that. Hey, Sally. Thank you so much, Sally. I appreciate that. But so you get a lot of opinions. I love the help that I get, or the suggestions that I get. There's a big difference between suggesting and offering advice and then just being mean. There's some people that are just mean. And I will delete those comments. I 100% will delete them and block the person who does it, because I just think that that's so, not okay. Thank you, Lisa. I know, Lori. Ernie, I'll screenshot him and send him to Ernie, because, initially, when that would happen, my heart would sink and I'd be like, oh, and he would say, sounds like a jealous person to me, or he always has something fun to say. He's such a great guy. But if you guys have any questions, put them here in the comments. I would love to answer questions. That's what this is supposed to be, a Q&A. And I'm over here, blah, 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 blah. I have a Christmas tree. King of Christmas sent me a Christmas tree. I was shocked, you guys. They reached out to me and they said, hey, you want to collab again this year? And I was like, yeah, because I was so bummed last year. I wanted this Christmas tree and I wasn't a big enough YouTuber yet. So I got the ones that I got with the garland and the wreath and the, whatever. And I was very appreciative of that. But they reached out and offered me a tree this year. So I'm going to have 3 big Christmas trees. One here in my office, one in the family room, and one upstairs in the men's lounge. Thank you, Leonore. So I'm very excited to decorate for Christmas. I will tell you that fall, how are you guys enjoying the fall decor that you guys are seeing on YouTube? I really want to know that. What you guys are thinking about what you're seeing. And, I've been trying to get into it, but I think it's because it's so hot still. I cannot. Thanks, Sherry. Brenda, I do have I'm actually going to be going to the farmer's market here pretty soon because I don't grow my own food, but I support the local farmers. And I'm going to be preserving summer and for my freezer. So I do have that coming up. I have made a few things this week and I thought, gosh, I should have filmed it, but I don't cook that often for myself. So should you primer a wall first for it? Well, you don't have to. A lot of paints now, Lisa, come with a primer in them. The only time that I would suggest that you do is if you have a dark color and you're going to light. But if you're going from light to dark, you don't need to. Hold on, don't feel overwhelmed, Jen. You're doing a beautiful job. Your channel is, your home is gorgeous, gorgeous. You've got such a beautiful touch. Yes, Janet, too early, too hot. I know. And yeah, pozole, yes, we're going to be making pozole. My son is going to be here for Christmas and he makes the best pozole. They're coming from Arizona, so I'm very excited for him and his wife to come. Oh my God, I miss him so stinking much. I cannot wait to wrap my arms around that boy. Oh, God, I miss him. So, well, I haven't seen him since last Thanksgiving, and I just miss him. And I miss my son in California, my grandbaby's over there, and I don't think we're going to be going back to California for Thanksgiving like we had initially thought. And the reason is because Ernie will be in transition, and I think I told you guys that he is most likely going to Florida for his next job, which is great news for us because that's an hour flight. Boom, boom. So we will be in transition around the holidays with his job, which means we got to get him moved out of California and over here. So I am definitely hosting Christmas. Thanksgiving, Ernie and I will be on our own because we're not going back to California because we do have our son and daughter-in-law here, but her family's coming in for Thanksgiving and they're going to her uncle's who lives here. And we don't want to impose, so we're just going to stay home. It'll just be Ernie and I, and I'm okay with that. Because I'll start decorating for Christmas on Thanksgiving. It'll be fabulous. Ernie and I will it'll be wonderful. We'll probably go for a nice walk, the weather, permitting. Hopefully it's beautiful, and I'll make us a nice little Thanksgiving dinner, and we'll watch movies, black and whites. It's just what we love to do. My husband works in construction management. So he has done this job 20 years now. So I'm very used to him traveling for work. But yes, he does construction management. So he doesn't do the construction work. His company manages. So his company gets the contract. He's in the water side of it. So wastewater sewer treatment plants. So his company will get the job, and then, their engineers or architects or whatever do the plan, and then they hire the contractors, and then my husband babysits adults all day. That's what I tell him. I go, you just babysit all day long. So yeah, but that's what he does, and um, we are very blessed, very blessed. So it was hard early on. I'm really ready for fall weather too, you guys. I'm for the weather, but I'm really enjoying the end of summer. The vibe that summer, I can smell it in the air. I can smell fall coming in the air. That the tree they sent it's a blue spruce. It's a $700 tree. What? Gulp. I haven't opened it yet. I'm going to open it with you guys. So I haven't opened it. Yes, he is ready to leave zombie world. That's what we call it. He's in Northern California, and it is a crazy place up there. So he's ready to leave. People are still wearing triple masks there. Oh, you guys are so sweet. Stop it. Stop. Keep going. No, I'm kidding. People are still wearing like triple masks there. It's crazy. And they make you feel guilty when you don't have a mask on. So it's very weird there. And I'm not sure what that's all about. But anyways, he can't wait to get out of there. And right now, he has no air conditioning. I've put in a thing to get it fixed, but his apartment is hot. And Pilot Chrissy, I like that name. Have you already decided on what color scheme you're going to do with your plants? In the backyard? I think the backyard we're going to go looking for some plants. I think Ernie said this weekend. We're hitting up a new antique mall this weekend in Franklin. So I'm super excited. Yes, Rosa, it is hot. I have a girlfriend that lives in Redlands. She's my sister from another mister. We grew up together. We've been friends since we're 12 years old. But we're going to go look for some plants. It's pretty full back there. It's so hot to garden. I just can't. The front yard with my annuals. Well, I put the purple, so I have the purple petunias around the tree, and they're gorgeous. They're just, oh my gosh, they look so good. I'm looking at them right now. They're beautiful. That garden is rather full. I'm actually very excited to get in there, and I want to make some coleus arrangements. I'm going to go out there and cut some of that coleus and make some beautiful arrangements for my house, for around the house, because they are just huge. And I didn't know that I didn't think in my mind that I should cut coleus and make arrangements. So that is in fact what I'm going to be doing. But that garden is so full, it needs to breathe. But I'm assuming you're asking for the upcoming season, maybe fall. I'm very excited. I don't know. I've got all the things going in my head because I didn't get to do any of this last year. And, I want a very harvesty looking front yard. And I think mums is what I'm going to be doing. I think a lot of mums, because last year when we were here during the fall shopping for a home, everywhere I turned, there was stores selling gigantic mums. I'd never seen mums this big before. And I thought, my gosh, I can't wait to get here. Because in California, when I would plant or get by my mums, they'd be dead in a week because those suckers need a lot of water. And we don't have the weather in California well, I suppose if you put them in a shady spot or, a spot where they're not going to get dried out. Anyways, I didn't have luck with them in California, so I'm very curious to see how I'm going to do with my mums this year. But there's other plants as well. If you can think of any that I should be adding to my garden in fall, I would greatly appreciate it. Greatly. Hey, Sandy. because I know the coleus is going to go away. My impatiens are going to go away. Um, all of my petunias will go away. So I'm going to have a lot of garden space in the front. In the back, everything will, except for the evergreen plants, pretty much everything back there will go to sleep or die. Because coleus that's not something that you can overwinter. That's too delicate of a plant. I'm correct, right? Because yeah, it's like it's got like an impatient type stem. So, so I'm looking for plants that I want to tuck in spots, because my girlfriend who lived in Virginia, and she's back in California, but she said, Anna, this girl, she gardens. Let me tell you what, you guys, her garden's amazing. She lives on a cliff in San Clemente, California, overlooking the ocean. Purple fountain grass is super pretty. It's perennial. I like perennials. Perennials are good. But they're all in the ground, Jennifer. Yes, yes, I do. I know that I want my trees will be the main event in my home. I really want my trees to be the main event. I don't know. I'm not one of those girls that really plans out details in her holiday decor. I just kind of let it evolve the way it's going to evolve. But I do know that the trees are going to be the main event in the upstairs, the office, and the family room. And of course, the mantle, I've got to get creative with, because I've got about an 8-inch clearance between the bottom of the TV and the top of the mantle. And we will be using that fireplace. If it's anything like last year, that thing was going almost all day, every day. So I have to be careful about that. But no, and the Santa tree for sure. I love Santa. I love an old-fashioned Christmas. I love it. Jennifer, do I have to dig the coleus up and pot it? I don't know. When people tell me to bring it in, I don't know what they mean. Does that mean like dig it up and plant it and bring it in, or I don't know what that means. See, I'm new to coleus. I've never grown a coleus before. Yeah. The Christmas decor is going to be amazing. But yes, it will be definitely Christmas around here. And but I want to really enjoy each season. And right now I'm enjoying the end of summer season. And ornamental cabbage. Yes! Oh my gosh. Gosh. I need to write that down. Ornamental cabbage. Yes. Yes. Yes, a million times yes. I will be doing that. Yes. Thank you so much for reminding me about that. That is one of my favorite things that would die every year. I'm literally writing this down right now. That would die every year last year, or the year before last when I was in California. Ornamental cabbage. See, I listen to y'all. Cabbage. Yes. And it's so beautiful, isn't it? So I had planted it, and not my last house, but the house before that, I planted it, and it did beautifully. And my pest control guy came to spray, and he goes, I'm not going to spray around your vegetable garden, when he knocked on the door. And I said, my vegetable garden? I don't have a vegetable garden. And he goes, out in the front, you have cabbage growing. I said, oh no, that's ornamental. It's not real. So it did beautiful. Oh, dig it up and pot it. Okay. All right. Alrighty. So, yeah, that's one thing that I do on this channel is everything. I don't want to be pigeonholed into I'm a decorating channel or I'm a gardening channel. You are at home with Anna when you're watching my videos. I do a little bit of everything. My fillings won't get, okay, I will put it in a pot. Perfect. Thank you guys. I love that. My fillings don't get hurt. If you're somebody who came to my channel to watch the gardening and you see me decorating and you're like, I'm not into that, that's cool. Or vice versa, I'm okay with that. But just know that I am you are at home with Anna. And that is why I named my channel that, because I did not want to get pigeonholed into just decorating or just cleaning or just gardening. I don't have a large enough property to just be a gardening channel. And I don't want to clean all the time. Like deep clean these videos. I do love, thank you, Jennifer. Thank you. I do love watching the deep cleaning. There's a few girls that I love to support their channel because they really work their booties off. And I appreciate looking at a young woman who takes that kind of pride in her home. I love to know, asters. Oh, okay. Adding it to the list. Asters. I'm so excited. This is so exciting. Thank you, Naomi. How you doing? Hey, Elizabeth. Thank you so much for that. I'm so excited. I love this. This is why I love YouTube. I love the community where we can share, and I love that. So anyways, what else? Are there any other questions? Did I miss a question? I should look. Hopefully I didn't miss any questions. Oh, by the way, Lisa, that Santa tree will probably be, well, I don't know where I'll put that decor and which tree will be my Santa tree. I'm not exactly sure. But anyways, but yeah, that's my channel. My channel is everything. I do it all here, and I mean, I love it. I love the variety, and I love watching channels with variety. I don't like watching channels that I get bored. If you are somebody who loves to decorate and you just do always inside and you never move outside, I'm gonna be like, come on now, let us see some back porch and some front porch. Now I have those, so I'm excited about that. Oh, I wanted to ask you guys, I have those rattan chairs on my front porch and then 2 on the balcony. I'm considering painting them. There got. Oh, how wonderful. Knoxville. Yeah, that's a couple hours away. How nice. I have one sister that lives in Clinton. She moved from California. And another sister that lives in, not far from Clinton. They actually are right next to each other because they drive to each other's house all the time. I'm going to say it's in Knoxville, pretty much. But she also moved from California. Yeah, it's all homemaking. All of it is. But I want to paint those white, I'm thinking. But then I don't want them to get chippy. I should leave them, huh? Just leave them original. Just leave them original. Because I eventually want to get different chairs for the front porch. Those are just what I had at my last house in the courtyard. I had all 4 of those. And I didn't pay a lot of money for them. I got them at Pick and Save, I think it was. Or what's it called? Right on, Jennifer. I'm with you there. Pick and Big Lots. That's what it's called now. So yeah, thank you, Lisa. I want to paint them white, but just because I just feel like it'll smooth, I don't know. Then they're just going to disappear. And then I'm thinking eventually, I'm kind of bummed because I have a company that reached out, and this is a pretty big deal. They want to send me a pergola for my backyard, but I don't have anywhere to put it, so I had to say no. So I'm kind of bummed about that because I want my brick patio with a pergola over it so I have a place to sit in the garden and enjoy it, because once we get that brick patio put in, we're going to plant around it and we're going to do like brick walkways. It's going to turn, my backyard is going to be a garden, not just a backyard. I had somebody say that I wasted money on my weeds and I planted grass. And I guess a lot of people didn't understand what it was. I thought I was pretty clear about that. I don't know, the camera made it look like I had grass, but I didn't. It was weeds. The builder seeded last summer, seeded grass, and it didn't take. So there was little pieces of grass here and there, but it was mainly weeds. That's all my backyard was. So I had to get that all taken out. And the only way my mind works and the way I design is I have to have a blank slate, especially in a garden. And I'm so happy I did it that way, because even the guy that came and laid the sod, he said, well, draw your gardens out. You know, that'll be less sod you have to buy. And you know, and we'll just cut around it. And I said, but I don't know. I'm not dead set on how I want them. And so I'm really happy that I did it the way I did it, because I ended up changing my mind. And had he not put grass where I ended up needing grass, I would have been bummed. So I'm happy that I didn't stick to that plan, you know. Thank you. I got this at Walmart. And Walmart, the neighborhood store. Not funny. I got it at the beginning of summer, but I'm also having a glass of wine. I haven't sipped on that yet. It's a little warm now. But anyway, somebody said, you wasted your money. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. 100% did not waste my money. First of all, well, you are an interior designer. I love that. Is it Wandy? Wandy? Am I saying that correctly? Wandy? Hey, Naomi. Yes. I'm very excited I went through all my tubs. I had 3 tubs. I'm a decor poor. And what I mean by that is I have minimal decor. So I have a video coming out, I think Tuesday. It'll be sometime this week. I'm doing a haul and I'm styling everything from that haul. Get yourself some red wine. I'm loving this. Josh Sauvignon Blanc is really good. What was I saying? My gosh. Oh my gosh. 58-year-old brain here. We're talking about the fall decor. Anyways, I went through my tubs. Oh, I'm decor poor, meaning, nothing that I have in those tubs I want to use. Not a darn thing. I'm not into the, fake, all the stuff anymore. It's not doing it for me. But I have a video coming out, and in that video I explained to you guys my fall decor, so I'm going to leave it for that. I'm not going to tell you guys. Pansies. Add pansies to my fall garden, or to my garden now. I'm going to write it down. I'm going to be doing winter sowing. I've been watching a lot of videos on it. So probably here, let's see, September, October, I'm going to start asking all my neighbors to save their milk jugs for me. Yes. It's fun when you have a new home. You can change your style. You don't have to have a new home for that too, you know. And your perception of a decor style is your perception. It doesn't have to be everybody else's perception, right? So, yes, I'm not into any of the orange, faux, fake, cheap stuff, which I decorated with last year and years previous. I'm not feeling it this year. It's just not my vibe anymore. It's not, yeah. So I'm going to leave it at that, and we will talk about what it is that I'm going to be doing and how I'm going to be decorating for fall. And it's going to be good. It's going to be really good. And probably it's going to be more economically friendly, because you know you're not out spending your money on stuff that you tuck away. It's also better for the environment, and not that I'm an environmentalist, but better for the environment. So I'm not, you know, that person, you know, I'm not screaming, but hey, we need to save our planet. So it's better for that. So I'm really thinking about those things these days. Now, when it comes to Christmas, all hands on deck for that. So I went into that attic And almost every tub up there is Christmas. So yes, Christmas is going to be on another level. That's all I can say. Um, but the trees are going to be the main event. I'm itchy. Ugh. I have itchy nose. I don't know, is it normal to have allergies this time of year? Because it is very hot. We had a 95-degree temperatures with like 66% humidity today. And every time I went out there, came in and I sounded like I have a cold. Um, yes, Lisa, I had such luck, and I cannot wait to show the whole haul with you guys and talk about it all. Because I came home and I did what I used to do years ago. I'd go antiquing, or not everything you find is antique. It's it's vintage as well. Um, and hey, Mary, thank you so much. And I immediately went online to see if I could find any of the items, and I in fact did. And I was pretty pleased with the prices of the items that I found, um, versus what I paid. So that's fun. But I'm going to start doing more of that, and then styling it with you guys. Coming home, doing the haul, and then showing you guys how I intend to use the items. Hey, Faith. Good girl. I didn't go to church today. Um, so, uh, anyways, so the holidays coming. We have so much coming up. You know what? I'm always going to have stuff to do though. I have Ernie, the garage I want to do for Ernie. I'm so excited to do the garage for him. I want to do that. I'm not going to say what I'm going to do because he might be watching right now and might not be commenting. Um, yeah, I'm glad you made it too, Faith. Um, oh, nice. Uh, I want to do the garage for him like when he's gone, and then when he comes home, surprise him. So that's something that's coming up too. So um, yeah. So if you guys have any questions, I'm here. This is supposed to be a Q&A. No, nobody's really asking me any questions. This is funny. You guys are funny. Okay. No, I didn't miss any questions here. Hold on. Okay. Okay. Oh, I love it, Naomi. I love it so much. It just is. I was saying earlier that I don't feel like I moved. I just melted into Tennessee so seamlessly. And decorating for fall and Christmas equal for me. I love them both. Um, but if you put me on the spot and asked me out of the two, it would definitely be Christmas for sure. Yeah. Um, is there a big difference between California and Tennessee? Huge difference. And I'm going to be completely transparent and tell you exactly what those differences are. Um, and anybody that's watching from California, unless you live in a small town or you've lived in your neighborhood forever and ever with the neighbors that you've lived with forever and ever, you can attest to this. But oh, this is the first time I've ever lived out of state. I was born and raised in California, and this is the first time. So happy to be gone. So first and foremost, the first thing that I noticed is how polite people are. They don't call it the volunteer state for nothing. People here are so kind and so willing to help you. I've had, for instance, I went to the grocery store and I put my buggy up there and started unloading. The cashier came behind the from behind her register to help me unload my cart onto the conveyor. I was loading my groceries into, yeah, you guys get it. Thank you, Jennifer. No worries, hon. It's a huge difference. I was loading my groceries in, and this woman who's older than me, she's in her 70s, easy, in the latter part of her 70s, came up and asked to take my cart for me. You know, she said, "Ma'am, can I take your buggy?" And I said, "Oh, no, you don't have to. No, no, ma'am, it's okay." And she took my buggy and put it away for me. I've had, people don't pass you without acknowledging you. They say hello. I've neighbors next door. I know my neighbors next door, across the street, down the street. I know everybody behind me. A matter of fact, when I went to go water yesterday, I slept in until 9:15 in the morning, by the way. And I go out and water every morning. And Granny, you guys may have seen her in a video. She's always in the background, sitting on her back porch. Her and the lady behind me as well, she goes out and waters. Well, I went out there this morning, and Granny said, "Oh, Anna, I'm glad to see that you're okay. We didn't see you yesterday. We were worried, and I didn't know if I should come over and knock on the door." She was just, she was worried about me. So I have neighbors that watch out for me. Just being out front, everybody that passes by waves to you. When you pass each other on the street, they wave to you. In California, we didn't get that. I'm just going to tell you a short story. We had not the last house we lived, well, the last house we lived in, nobody talked to each other. My next door neighbor was a jerk, and nobody talked to each other. It was the most depressing place. I hated it there. The house before that, we lived there for 9 years, and we had just moved in a couple months prior, and oh, Faith, you're the same age as my oldest sister. See, that's why we get along, because we could be sisters. No, there's not a lot of kindness in California at all. So we had just moved in a few months prior, and all of a sudden there was SWAT and helicopters, and it turns out, long story short, the neighbor across the street had a party and shot at his brother. And yeah, it was a crazy night. So the next day, after all the chaos, I was outside watering my garden, and the neighbor directly across the street from me, next door to him, backed out of her garage and said, "Hey, did you hear what happened last night?" And I said, "Yes." And we started chit-chatting, and we talked about it. And I met her, and we became great friends. And everybody on the street asked me, because I got to know everybody on the street. Everybody. I want to know who's coming up and down my street. And so I caught burglars. I did. I kid you not. We had a kid and his gang that were going around checking doorknobs and robbing houses. And nobody could catch him. Nobody knew who it was. And one night when I was outside, I saw them going down the street in their hoodies. I'm very aware of my surroundings. And so, but I knew everybody. And they would ask me, "How did you meet her? I've lived next door to her for the last 7 years, and I've never even talked to her." And yeah. Yes, Faith, we are YouTube sisters. Yeah, it's you have to be that person. And California, so that's the first thing that I noticed different, is just the kindness and the community. The community, it's real here. The fact that people are not afraid to fly the American flag, that is a big deal to me. I'm a love of God. My love for God and country is real, and people are not afraid of that here. In California, people were afraid to fly. Not me, but people were afraid to fly their flag, or even have a flag on their car, for fear that their car would get scratched or keyed or something like that. Um, uh, so I'm at that. Um, we haven't found a church that we enjoy 100% yet. So, but there is not a lack of faith and church here in the Bible Belt, and I love that. I love that when I go into a restaurant, I can watch families hold hands and pray in a public restaurant. Um, you do? You follow a church here? Oh, that's lovely. I love that. I love that. I love that when I have people come work at my home, they call me ma'am. Um, there's a real respect. I love that when I had my garage floor done, it was a 21-year-old and a 16-year-old. Um, you saw the people who worked in my backyard, those young boys. They teach good, strong American values here, and that's how we raised our boys. And so it's just so good. But those boys that came and did our garage, that 21-year-old sat on my front porch with me and spoke gospel to me. And it just took my breath away, because in California that doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. He sat on my front porch, and it was I get emotional about it. I'm not going to cry. I'm not, just because we've lost that. And we raised our boys that way. And so I was afraid that, thanks, Jen. I was afraid that, and when you live in California, you just feel like it's all gone. Nobody cares anymore. You come here and it breathes new life into you, and you realize, yes, Lori, in Texas. That was our first place, and I have 2 cousins actually that are moving to Texas now. That's where my family's from. My dad's family's from. My dad was born and raised in Kent. Well, born and early raised in Kent, Texas. I say y'all, but I've always said y'all. That's because I have family in Texas, so we got influenced by the y'all. Because every time they come in the summer and live with us or stay with us, so I have always said y'all. So I try not to. I try and say you all, but it just comes out y'all. Anyways, my dad was born and raised in Kent, Texas, early years. And my grandfather owned a ranch in Texas in Pecos. And my grandfather, my great grandfather, my grandfather was the last pioneer in Texas. And his belt buckle, his saddle, his boots, and I can't think of what else, is in the museum in Pecos, Texas, as the last pioneer. So I've got that blood in me, which is where I get my love of horses, and when I was younger. So my grandfather is the last pioneer in Texas, and so that was my first, I've always said, since Ernie and I have been married, I've said I'm moving to Texas. I want to go to Texas. Now the Reynolds family bought the ranch from my family, but the gates that say Juan, JN, they're the wrought iron gates to the entrance to the cattle ranch, are still there at the entrance to the ranch, and it's JN for Juan Navarrete, which is my maiden name, and so those are still there, because I've had many cousins that have traveled to go see it. My grandparents also owned a gas station and a hotel in Pecos, and Pecos or Kent. I'm sorry, I can't remember if it's Pecos or Kent. I've got so much family history Um, yeah. Um, and my great grandmother had a friend, a neighboring. It's a long story. I could do a video on that just alone, but um, there's the motel still stands, or the what used to be the motel still stands. The remnants of the gas station still stand, and my great grandmother's friend's great granddaughter contacted me about, I want to say maybe 7 years ago, 6 years ago. She found me through doing the, how you do that family history thing. And she found me and she traveled to Pecos. She was the one who told me about my grandfather. Nobody in my family ever told me that. Everybody's gone now. But so I called the Pecos Museum and asked them, and they in fact did tell me because I didn't believe her. But she traveled because she has a lot of history in the neighboring property. And she went and they let her spend the night at the hotel. She said they'll let you spend the night. It's not an actual hotel, it'd be more like camping out. And I thought that was really cool. So those properties still exist. I have a dream of going there and seeing it all for myself. And hopefully soon we'll be able to do that, God willing. We have traced our family. I haven't done a whole lot of research. I know that I do have a book. A distant cousin wrote a book. He's older. He was like my dad's age. So like I don't know, what would that be? Like a second, third cousin or something. I am very proud of my heritage. That's my dad's side. My mom is from Brussels, Belgium. She was a war bride, and she was an only child. My dad was one of 9. So we were raised by my mom. We were raised more on the Mexican traditions because my dad was one of 9 and they all lived around each other. And so my mom had no siblings. And so, my mom was the only little French lady that you'd ever know that we'd come home to a stack of flour tortillas. She made the best salsa, rice, beans. My mom cooked enchiladas. My grandma taught her. My dad's mom taught her how to make everything. So, yeah, so we were raised that way. But I'm very proud of my French side as well. We call ourselves Frenchicans. We're very, very, very proud of our French side. A matter of fact, my sister, her daughter, for their honeymoon, they went to Paris, they went to France, and she came back she's always been very influenced by the French side. She looks just like my mom, which is so crazy. She named her son that she just had Remy, which is a French name, and she what was I gonna say? Oh my gosh, her home is decorated beautifully, and yeah, she's very, very into that. And then my sister is called Bon Mama, and her husband is Bon Papa. So they are very, so we're very proud of that. But I, of course, my oldest son, he speaks French, Spanish. All 3 of my boys are bilingual. All 3 speak Spanish and English fluently. I do not. I know that I sound like I do to some people, but I do not. I've been with Ernie since I'm 16, and so I've learned how to speak Spanish through that. But but I'm not fluent in the language. But if somebody who doesn't speak Spanish hears me speak Spanish, they think I'm fluent. But if somebody who speaks Spanish fluently hears me speak Spanish, I sound uneducated because I don't conjugate well. So, but my boys are all 3 bilingual. My oldest is actually trilingual because his wife is also Frenchican. Her dad is French and her mother is Mexican. And so my daughter-in-law spent summers in Europe with her French grandparents every year. And so she's trilingual. And so Michael, my oldest and my my middle son, they both took French in high school. And so it was lovely. When they were in high school, they would speak French to my mother and Spanish to my father and Ernie's parents. So they were both bilingual. Our youngest, Robert, never took French, but he speaks Spanish. So they went to a school in San Diego called Escuela Longfellow, and it's a Spanish immersion program. So it was very important to me that they learned how to speak Spanish because my mother-in-law does not speak English. So I needed them to be able to communicate with their grandmother. Yes, Rosa, I love family history. So my family on both sides, the history is rich on both sides. Yeah, so it's interesting. But there are books written by extended family members, and I have a copy. I think it's upstairs in the attic in my keepsake box. That he wrote about the family, and it's a pretty interesting book. I don't know that he ever got it published. I got it sent to me by somebody. So, um, yeah, it's pretty crazy. Bonnie and Clyde. My grandma hid Bonnie and Clyde, which is crazy. But she did, in fact, and that was a story I thought grandma would always tell, and none of us really believed her. um, so we just thought grandma told that story, but it in fact is in the book by this distant cousin. So it in fact did happen. Grandma hid Bonnie and Clyde in her wardrobe in the house. So I don't know, it's crazy. I could go on and on. So anyways, so very, very rich history. And I'm sure you guys have history. I love hearing about it. I mean, I love hearing, I just, somebody told me they're from Russia and they tell me, about everything that they, their family has went through, or the things that they've, that have been passed down through generations, food. And one of my daughter-in-laws said to me, you cook everything, she said. Oh, that's what I was gonna tell you. Somebody asked earlier, you may or may not be here still, about me cooking. I am gonna do a food preservation. I'll get back to the story in a second. This is squirrel. My mind is going this way, but I don't want to forget to say this. I cooked 2 things this week. I made French onion soup. Oh my gosh, was it good? And I made it, and I don't normally cook this fancy for myself because it's just me. And I don't cook a lot of food during the week because I made that little tureen of chicken, it wasn't that big, of that soup, and I was able to eat that for 3 meals. And so that was lovely. And then I made a yummy chicken Alfredo from scratch. I'm sure a lot of you guys make that all the time, but this one was off the charts because I've made chicken Alfredo and this one was so good. And I thought, God, I should be filming this, but I don't know. But anyways, the food, like I cook everything because my mother cooked everything. My mother cooked all the Mexican food because of my grandma. And yes, Pancho Villa, my family too. Hey, maybe we're related. The Pancho Villa, yes. It's in the book. In the book that I have. It's in the book. It's so crazy. This book is so crazy. And then my mom made Italian food because she was raised by her father, Prosper, who was not her real father. Her real father was Italian. And so, but grandma and him divorced. And so I only knew, Prosper, grandpa. So my mother she cooks Italian. And I'm not exactly sure where she got those recipes from. But she cooks Italian food. My mother cooks German food because her village was taken over by the Nazis, and there's a huge German influence in her cooking. Abruzzi. Oh, Faithy, you mean Sicilian and do you speak Italian still or no? I'd love to learn how to speak that language. It's so beautiful. So grandma cooked Italian. My mom cooked Italian. She cooked Mexican. She cooked American the best way that she could. She made, not Dutch, grandpa, because my grandpa spoke, was it Dutch? Is that Dutch? No, it starts with an F. It's on the tip of my tongue. Grandpa spoke, it starts with an F. He spoke French, he spoke English. Barely. His English was poor. Um, I can't think of the name. So my mom's cooking. So this is how I was raised. I was raised. One day we'd come home from school and we'd have rice and beans and homemade flour tortillas and fresh salsa. And the next day I'd come home to the best spaghetti sauce anybody's ever made. Spaghetti, and yeah. So my mom cooked everything, and my daughter-in-law said that. And I said, I guess it's because of my mom. That we were raised that way, cooking everything. And all of us are good cooks. Every single one of us girls can cook, and we all know how to cook. We only have so my dad was married when he was my dad had his first kid when he was 14, with his first wife Vicky, and they had 6 children, and back to back to back to back. And then my mom married her what do they call her first husband, her GI. That's what they called him, her GI. And they had 4 children. And then and then they got divorced. My mom lived across the street from my dad's sister. And so my mom and dad met, and they had my 2 older sisters, and then they got divorced, or they got separated. My mom had an affair and got pregnant and gave that baby up for adoption. And then my mom and dad got back together, and they got pregnant with me and my younger sister. So we met my sister, who was given up for adoption. She found us when I was pregnant with my youngest son, Robert. 31. He's 31 years ago. So and it's funny because she filled the piece of the puzzle, because my little sister is 57, I'm 58. Deneen, the one who found us, is 59, and then I have 60 and 61. But for all those years, this one was missing, and I was like, there's a gap. That's so weird. Well, she filled the gap. So her and I are the same age for 1 month. She's the same age as Ernie. They're 2 days apart. And so it's just crazy, that she found us. So in total, I am one of 15 children. So we were not raised with my dad's children. We'd see them on occasion. My dad's youngest son lived with us a couple times. And then my oldest sister on his side, Linda, we would go visit a lot, but the other ones we weren't close to. And then I was raised, obviously, with my mom's kids from her first marriage. Never thought of them as my half siblings. They were just my siblings, but I always referred to my dad's kids as my half siblings. It's really very weird. So anyways, yeah, one of 15, second to youngest of 15. For a long time, they all thought that they were my mother and father. So, but I don't know. That's it. Well, looks like we're dwindling down. We still got 45 of you guys on here. That's nice. I was almost at 100 there for a minute. Anybody else have any questions before I let you go? No? All righty. Well, then I think I'm going to say bye to you guys. Yes, it'll be closer to an hour. So when he was in Northern California and I was still in Southern California, it was so nice because his flight was like an hour and 30 minutes, right, with whatever. And it was boom, boom. That's going to be the same with him being in Florida here. So it's just lovely. Hey, Kathy. Oh, see, now I can't go because Kathy's here. And she just moved from Tennessee to Colorado. She's a Colorado girl now. Oh, my house. Your son speaks Italian. Oh, Faith, that's wonderful. All Italian. I love it. Love it. Such a beautiful language. But I love Spanish too. Anyways, my mom, she died with her accent. My dad had an accent. Didn't know that. I didn't hear my mom and dad's accent. You know how that goes. You're raised with them. You don't hear their accents. I knew my mom had an accent just because she would say words funny, and I still say things funny because my mom raised me. You might hear that when I talk. I say things funny because of my mom. You're welcome, Janet. Um, but my when we after both parents passed away, I actually still have the CD. I just don't have a DVD player. That don't exist anymore. Um, my mom's birthday, and I got to hear my dad talk because he gave the toast. And I looked at Ernie and I said, "My dad had an accent?" And he goes, "Yes." And I said, "I didn't know that. I had no idea." And when I heard my mom talk, she had a very heavy French accent. Very, very. Like she couldn't say three, she said tree. Tree. And funny story, Ernie will never forget this. She asked him to go to the store and get letters for her. And so he said, "Oh, sure, Mom." So he took the money and he ran to the store and he came back with envelopes. And she said, "What's this?" And he said, "Well, I didn't know what you meant by letters, so I just got envelopes. I assumed that's what you meant." She said, "No, letters for the salad." She wanted lettuce. So he came back with envelopes. She wanted lettuce, which is very funny. So he always remembers that. It's always a funny story to him. But I just thought my mom said words funny. I didn't realize that her whole everything she said was, she had an accent. I never realized that. So it's pretty funny. But anyways, you'll hear me. Sometimes I'll do on Instagram, I'll do things and I'll play French music because those songs remind me of my mom. Good night, Valerie. Yeah, I gotta go too, you guys. I gotta go because When Calls the Heart is coming on, so I gotta go watch that. It's been a wonderful visit with you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it, and I love doing these lives so much. Be looking for the new video. I'm going to show you my antique store haul, and we're going to style everything together. Should be really good, and I'm going to tell you guys exactly how I plan on decorating for fall. Also, if you're not following me on Instagram, you want to do that because you always get sneak peeks over there before you even see it on YouTube. So it's always at the beginning of my channel, and I usually will have it sometimes in the video how you can find me on Instagram. So anyways, you guys have a fabulous evening, and I'll see you sometime this week. Bye.